Hi, I'm Kathy Dillon. I'm going to talk a little bit about rose pruning. Usually at the Edward Dean Museum we have a rose pruning clinic in February and January. But I just want to give you a few tips on ways that you can maintain your roses and even prune them back in the winter months to give you better blooms in the spring and summer. So I'm going to look at this rose bush. When you're just trimming your rose bushes, what you want to do is you want to find some areas that the blooms have come off and trim down right above the first 5. Do you notice this has 3 and this has 5? So we're going to trim right here at a slight angle and get rid of the dead rose head. Now if you are trimming these all the way back for winter time, what you want to do is first look at the shape of your rose bush and notice if you have a lot growing in the middle. And what you're going to do is to trim those back and create a vase shape with your rose. What you'll need to trim and prune your roses are some good sharp cutters. Now I have some hand trimmers, and then I have some long handled hand trimmers. Those will help me get in some areas so that I don't get thorns. And then I have some really thick long handled trimmers. Now these are good for areas that your stems are very thick and it's hard to get in there with your hands. So looking at this, I noticed that I have a lot of dead areas that can be trimmed back. You want to trim back about 2/3 of the bush. So I'll start by looking at areas that you can just cut out quickly, and usually start from the outside in. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to start to trim off all of the areas that were grown from last year. Again, at an angle, and cut right at an angle to the edge of that bud. So I've trimmed off a lot of the leaves. You can see that you kind of can see the structure of the rose bush. So in the winter time, general rule is to get rid of all the leaves that are on your rose bush because pests can live over the winter on the leaves. Another thing that people say is to trim off all the branches that are less than about a pencil width thick. Sometimes you can do that, depends on how big your rose bush is. But you do want to notice if you have some limbs that are going towards the middle, you want to cut those off. And also, if you look close down here, you can see that this is a crossover branch and you want to remove those. So last thing is get rid of all the leaves, cut the really small branches, get rid of the crossover branches, and also cut off the limbs that are going into the middle of the plant. And if you do this, you should have a really good result with your roses next year. And if you get a chance, come and see our roses. We love to have visitors come and look at all the roses. They smell great and beautiful for weddings.